It really is incredible how sometimes birthdays group together, and today I'm celebrating another fantastic comedian, Ricky Gervais. Now, like Marmite, you love him or you hate him, and my parents really couldn't stand him. And I'm sure even if he was to hear this, he wouldn't mind me saying that yes, he's a short, fat, dumpy little man with a kind of Weasley face and a very annoying laugh. And so, he's not necessarily the person that ingratiates himself to you on first impressions. And yet, that's funny I say that because I remember one day I was in a cafe in Brighton where he came in, and it was around the time of The Office, and I hadn't watched The Office at that point. And here's this famous dude just sitting opposite me, and there was this sort of natural inclination to just want to say hello or strike up a conversation. But I was like, what have I got to say to him? I don't know his material. It's just because he's famous, and so I resisted the urge, didn't say anything. And then it was actually many years later that I saw him in an interview talking about how much he hates that kind of interaction, and I felt kind of pleased with myself that I didn't, impose upon his need for privacy and quiet at that time. I bet he doesn't do that very often now, just go and sit out in a public cafe. But anyway, why do I think this man merits a note of celebration and to honour him with one of these 365 festivals? And I will enjoy explaining why, because I think he's a man with immense humanity, with someone who is truly humane in so many ways, and yet is so brutal and so edgy and so willing to go there, not backing down, having total conviction that he's a good man, that he doesn't mean anyone any harm, and that gives him license to do and say whatever he wants. That is a really invigorating and rejuvenating spirit that I believe our culture is badly in need of at the moment. Now, the first few times that I saw The Office, I just looked at it, was utterly confused. It seemed so dead and boring, and it wasn't until someone said, "No, you really need to just watch it from the beginning," and I did. And yeah, I mean, it's amazing. I haven't spent that much of my life in office environments, but I have worked in offices, and his portrayal of life in a British office was so accurate and so brutal and beautiful. And that was the thing that I think that really stands him apart, is this, I've spoken in other videos about how empathy and compassion are essential elements to comedy. You can't be funny without them. But at the same time, he has this beautiful way of connecting with the softest, sweetest parts of the people that he's often making fun out of. The vehicles for comedy in his shows are also the same vehicles for, heartfelt moments. He can bring, in the course of a comedy series, the audience to tears, which is exceptional. And I remember watching The Office and finding myself being so connected to those characters. And then there was the second series, and then there was a couple of specials. And by the end of that thing, I mean, it was just fantastic. So then later I discovered other things. Derek. Oh my goodness. Derek is incredible. Every person that works in a care home for the elderly should be obliged to watch Derek. When they sit people down in an office and go through health and safety procedures and make them watch endless videos, this is what we have to do in this situation, this is what we do in a fire, and they should be forced to sit there for a few days and watch Derek, so that there's actually humour and humanity in the running of care homes. Then, what was that last series that he did about life and death? Oh my goodness, what was the name of it? It's completely left me. 2 series of him playing a character of a man whose wife has died recently, and he's bereft. His father's losing it with dementia in a care home. He's struggling. and contemplating suicide. And yet that series, the first one especially, had me howling on my own, in a room on my own. It's so rare that comedy has that capacity to really make us laugh out loud. And I was wetting myself at how hilarious it was, and at the same time crying in the same episode, sometimes in very short, 20 seconds later being in tears, really crying. So I think anybody who does that, who can do that. Oh my God, then there was Extras, where he managed to take these really famous people and get them to play caricatures of themselves that were so convincing and so hilarious. He was able to make fun of the whole celebrity function. And then you've got the Golden Globes, when he was able to stand up in front of roomfuls of rich celebrities and force them to have to laugh at themselves or reveal themselves as the as the people that they were. The celebrities who weren't able to laugh at that really showed themselves as yeah. It was very, very revealing. So for all of these and all of the things that I'm sure he's yet to write and produce, I am celebrating Ricky Gervais with all my heart. What an incredible contribution to this world. And some people I've seen recently accuse him of bullying, and I certainly found, I never really enjoyed his relationship with Carl, the chap that he used to make fun of all the time. There is an edge to him that feels a bit cynical, a bit irritating. He can't always be easy to work for or around, I'm sure. But on balance, he's got so much heart, and I believe that the function that he plays grants him a little bit of leeway. None of us are perfect, and so even with those little, things about his personality that must be challenging for people to actually be around, I still think on balance he is well worthy of our celebration. So today I'm celebrating Ricky Gervais.